Okay, so higher prices for Bitcoin, right? That's the main focus right now as Bitcoin trends higher. It creates smaller picture, higher highs and higher lows. Can we expect this? And you know what? I'm sort of expecting higher prices. Now, yes, my hair looks like a mess, but I have a good reason for it, and it's that I'm not trying to impress anyone, so I don't care. So here we go, because I'm very, very excited. We've seen some amazing price action recently. Although I want to express some caution, I'm gonna go over some stuff and what that can look like going forward. We can't forget the bigger picture, and it's all very exciting because the price action says one thing, articles, what's going on in the macro says another thing, and we can really make sense of this to not just position ourselves properly, but to have a better expectation of price action going forward. So we know, if you guys haven't already, if you look up basic stock market news, June jobs report was actually good in the sense of there's a lot more people out there with the opportunity to sustain themselves, so it ticked up. Bad part of it is it does make it easier for the Fed to hold rates if people are at least getting these opportunities, right? Which they are according to the report. But when it comes to the price itself, yesterday I showed you guys my BitU swing trade. It's one of my main focuses right now, to accumulate, build up this position. And I'm not going to show it today because I showed it yesterday, but it's still up, even after today's price action. It's still up. We'll see how it goes throughout the rest of this week. I'm not actually sure if the market's open tomorrow, the stock market. But we will find out. If not, I really don't care because the price action for Bitcoin is still going, and then we can have a good idea of week over this long potential weekend, long potential long weekend going into next week as volume begins to kick up once again. Once this weekend volume begins to do its thing, but overall, I'm expecting much higher prices now. The thing is, this swing position, of course, is to take advantage of at least the majority of the rest of the bull run. I'm not trying to be perfect with it, but I am trying to position myself for higher prices, which I do believe it's, just in my own opinion, it's very, very likely. Regardless of the jobs report, there's still going to be a rate cut eventually in the future. There's a lot of things pushing towards it, and at the end of the day, the the U.S. deficit, like, well, they're going to print more. It's just asset inflation is a thing, and then of course depreciating dollar. It's going to influence people to want to buy some Bitcoin as an option at least. So going forward, I'm not going to rule out this purple area just yet because we technically do have the bullish confirmation that I have been talking about recently, which is price goes up, holds a higher low, ideally within the yellow, but it held right above it at the 0.35 retracement at 105,110 bucks, and then bounced off of that, went higher, broke the swing high, creating a higher high within this structure, and now we're paying attention to. I'm not gonna do what I've done previously because this is a whole different setup in my opinion. I'm not gonna bring it up. This retracement is no longer needed. Instead, we're focusing on the shorter picture retracement to potentially, and how I'm going to approach this is because I have a lot more cash on the side ready to accumulate more BitU. I can do this all day. I can do this all day, but basically the point I'm trying to do, or the point I'm trying to make is, yes, I'm accumulating leverage Bitcoin ETF, and I plan to keep accumulating because I believe the price will be much higher. But what I want to do is actively position myself to capture reasonable supports, because right now the position at 45,000 invested is good enough. Like, I'm happy with that swing trade. It's a good position size. I have no problem, and it will give me a whole lot of profit going forward. But I want to add $5,000 increments. I plan to add at least sometime here throughout July another bring it up. I want to bring it up to, what is that? I have another $25,000 that I'm willing to put into this, potentially more. I might do even more than that, but I really want to be aggressive with this position just because I do believe Bitcoin will be much higher, and I have, you know, no worries with this cash. I'm buying into the swing trade. I don't care what happens to it. This isn't cash I care about, but it is something I want exposure for, right? So what I'm doing right now is that I'm going to use, and the price can easily trend higher. But again, this jobs report can start to make a lot of that short-term optimism, a lot of that short-term bullishness. It can cause it to fade away as we approach the next CPI report, and then we, of course, the FOMC meeting that will eventually happen as well. So this opens up the opportunity as well as the price action. So the 120 is right here around 107.9K basically, and we can come down to either flirt with this 120 moving average by swinging around it, or just use it as a support. Regardless, I really don't care. Right now, I'm using this as another opportunity to accumulate another 5K into that trade, and then as we begin to try to retest, not just, it's fine if we find support, but the point is the moment we break into this yellow, I really want to keep track of another retracement for a potential bullish correction. Smaller picture, if it breaks, then I mean it's very, very much possible we can start trading, into a new all-time high real soon. All-time high is very, very close. We can see some bullishness to probably just pump it up, for liquidity to do its thing. We can see a lot of the liquidation heat maps for Bitcoin also lighting up around this area going forward. But the point is that I want to keep an eye to potentially see if this is a short-term top for us to create a smaller. So if it looks something like this, basically, this is what I'm trying to say. And I'll color code this when it happens. But let's say we come down to 107.9K. Cool. We find support as an example and we go up, right? So it will look something like this. Or we come down, we find support, we go up. Now, if this resistance, if this resistance up here holds and we break down, then we're trying to break this swing low. The moment we break this swing low, this opens the opportunity for us to keep an eye on a fib extension to the downside. So it will look something like this from the swing high. Of course, that's if this is not broken. We come down wherever support's going to be at, and then we, the high, let's just say it's right here, for example. This will be a retracement for the little bullish correction, and then it will, give us eyes to look into this area. Now, what we're looking for within this area is to create another overall retracement for us to potentially confirm a little bit of a bigger picture, bullish correction, which would create, and I mean, it's not going to be super significant because this setup is not super textbook when it comes to this. I believe it could be better, but it could create, a very simple textbook head and shoulders, and it can open the opportunity to find retracement or find a resistance within the retracement, and then for us to finally come down and finish this purple area. And during all of these supports and finally one more opportunity into the purple is where I plan to finally finish accumulating that swing trade, and that's how I'm approaching Bitcoin now. I understand that I expect, in my opinion, Bitcoin to be much, much higher, but this bullish confirmation could be false just because of the macro reports we just recently got today and how that influences the likelihood of a rate cut very soon, earlier than expected. It highly influences for that not to happen, but it's still very much possible. We just have to wait and see. Let's wait for those CPIs to see what's going on. But as of right now, what I am doing is that I am just trying to conserve capital. I have a good position, so I have no reason to rush to add more to it, but I want to, conserve capital to really lower my average cost basis, as we trend down to finally finish this overall corrective move. We broke this down in previous videos as an overall 3-wave move down, this being just an overshooting second wave within the final third wave, and I broke this down before. Maybe I'll break it down again tomorrow. We'll see. But yeah, there's a lot of evidence that this could be a very clear bullish fake out. It could be an opportunity for a lot of bigger shorts to take advantage of FOMO buying, and we can see the prices dropping around. It's just an opportunity for liquidity to do its thing, shift into the bearish side. So right now there's a lot of FOMO buying. It's easier for people to offload large amounts for short term if they're trading short term, and it's an opportunity for them to accumulate shorts. I would not be surprised if we see bearish momentum form. Now again, if we find support within this area, It's very, very important, just in my opinion, to keep an eye on a retracement within, a potential, if how high the price can go as a smaller correction before we go down lower. Now, I still believe lower prices are very much possible. I'm going against the bullish confirmation I've been talking about previously, because this is very, very important. The macro space is pretty much telling me, it's giving me signs that, hey, we're probably going to form somewhat of a top within this move higher. If you guys like Elliott waves as well, like, well, there's a lot of argument, and this is really weird because there's a lot of consolidation right here, and we had a two-way breakout on this triangle, so it's like there's a lot of valid arguments people can make on rather this is still a third wave playing out. If that's the case, then we can maybe see the price still try to pump over this holiday weekend and potentially easily come into the green and into this area. As you can see, it's very much possible. I just don't think it's as likely as the scenario I played out earlier, but I'll keep an eye on this. I'll keep you guys updated. And as of right now, well, in my opinion, short-term trading is probably favoring shorts, shorting into retracement as a small trade, with an SO obviously being the swing high right here. I feel like that's a very appropriate trade. It might not be a perfect ratio for a lot of you focused on profits against risk, but I think it's very much valid. But we'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys updated, and we'll continue from there.